Hey Tennessee, there are going to be 3 proposed amendments to our beloved Tennessee Constitution on the November 2022 ballot. This video is the first in a 3-part series in which I discuss why 2 of these proposed amendments are for corrupt purpose. The amendment to prohibit slavery and indentured servitude is a sham. There are 13 members of the House who are Democrats with their name on this amendment and 1 Republican. Regardless, I think it was maybe 2 nays on the final vote for this in the House, so evidencing that the full body is in on this sham. So let's look at what is the present Tennessee Constitution. How does it read on this? It says that slavery and involuntary servitude, except as punishment for a crime, whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, are forever prohibited in the state. Here's the proposed change to this. It says slavery and involuntary servitude are forever prohibited. Nothing in this section shall prohibit an inmate from working when the inmate has been duly convicted of a crime. These sound much the same. I can't imagine what the difference is between this language. At a first glance, it looks pretty much the same to me. This language is nothing but tricky attorney language, and it's a sham. And I can think of 2 purposes of what this is for. It's to create a new tort where attorneys can sue on behalf of inmates that they have a right to work and get paid for it, or it's to create free labor for our private prison system, core civic. Take a look at, this is from the House floor where they're discussing this, and this is Representative Chris Todd echoing my belief to leave our Tennessee Constitution alone. There's nothing wrong with it, and what are we trying to do with this sham proposed amendment? So let's take a look at what Chris Todd said.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Representative, I've not understood this entire time that this has been running through committee why we're doing this. The prohibition against slavery is already in our Constitution. There's no need to rewrite this. As a matter of fact, I'll quote 2 of your colleagues from Shelby County. Enough is enough. Let's stop tampering with the Constitution. It's a good Constitution, one of the best, but we continue year after year amending it for all the wrong reasons. And the second, I don't understand why we keep trifling with the Constitution. Every time we have a statutory issue, we run and decide that we're going to maim the Constitution. I don't know what happened to the respect for the Constitution. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So in this next clip, Susan Lynn expresses the same concern that I have, that this is a sham to create a new tort, another way for attorneys to make money. She just says it a little bit less plainly than I do. Take a look at this.
Is your intent to in any way ensure that any prisoner who asks to work must be given a job?
So in this next clip, Representative Joe Towns, who's presenting the amendment on the House floor for its final vote, he said that the language for this amendment came from the Department of Corrections. Wait a minute. Government is writing its own form of government? The Tennessee Constitution establishes our form of government, and government should never establish its own form. Here, listen to what Representative Towns said.
This language comes from the Department of Correction. This bill has been here for a couple of years and trying to get it right. That particular language was inserted with us working with the Department of Correction. That has no bearing on anyone working and us having to try to provide jobs for those that may want to work.
And in fact, Representative Towns doesn't just say that the Department of Corrections helped him with the language. He states that they wrote all of it. Take a listen.
It did not come from me exactly. It came from them because we wanted to make sure in committee last year that we had it right. And I trust the Department of Correction, and I thank them for participating and helping us get it tweaked like that.
And here again, Representative Lynn expresses my same concern that this language could require the state to provide jobs to inmates and pay them minimum wage. Take a listen to Representative Lynn.
Because I am concerned that the second sentence might imply that maybe we would pay prisoners minimum wage or maybe a given wage that somebody who is filing a lawsuit thinks that they should be paid. But we never know what someone who files a lawsuit, what kind of angle they may have.
Representative Town admits that this proposed amendment opens the state to litigation. And the state is us. The taxpayers are the ones that are going to pay for those lawsuits. And here's the real scam about this. These inmates will get little out of this. But the attorneys that may potentially bring these lawsuits, they're going to make tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in attorney fees as this goes through the court system. We have to stop this kind of pretended legislation or proposed amendment to our beloved Tennessee Constitution. Take a listen to Representative Towns again on this.
However, you live in America, and anything you can file a lawsuit on a chicken sandwich if you want to. However, I think we can win, and I don't see that as a threat to what it is that we're doing.
Now, here's my other concern with the language of this proposed amendment. The present Tennessee Constitution prohibits slavery and indentured servitude except as punishment for a crime. That means a sentencing guideline would have to be, if you commit X crime, they're going to do 5 years of hard labor. That's punishment for a crime. With this new language, it says nothing in this section shall prohibit an inmate from working when the inmate has been duly convicted of a crime. And what that opens the door to me, in my eyes, is it opens the door for CoreCivic, our private prison system, to use the inmates that are in there for free labor to cut down on costs. What's to stop them from contracting out the inmates and collecting the revenue on the inmates' labor to offset costs on their books? I don't think there's anything that prevents them from doing that with this new language in this proposed amendment. So as a forensic accountant, I have a gift for looking at this pretended legislation and deciphering it for what its true purpose is. Having long stood against corruption in the judiciary and the legal profession, I can pick apart this language and say, oh, yeah, I see what they're trying to do here. Put me in office, and I swear I will stop this kind of legislation before it gets to the ballot, before it gets to the floor. Have you ever heard a governor in there standing up against corrupt, pretended legislation? I have not, but I will. My name's John Gentry. I appreciate you taking time, and I appreciate your vote in November 22. God bless, Godspeed to us all.